What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's your man of fire himself, Halfpint, once again, and today I'm here to bring you some valuable tips to up your Reach game to ensure the best multiplayer experience you can get. It's great to see Reach being back in the spotlight as if a day has never passed from the 360 days, but the fields have changed since Halo's early days. The FPS market has changed, streamers have come from all different sorts of games out there and hopped on the bandwagon for Reach's release. Not to mention the game is now on PC. However, this has not affected the way the game plays. Reach is still played the same way it was back in the day, which is why it's important for you to learn the basics you need for the best experience with just a few tips. Before we get too far in the video, be sure to hit the subscribe button as more Reach content is coming. That, and we're rapidly approaching our way to the 10K sub club. Join now to make it happen. With that out of the way, let's get right into this. Now, I stated before, not too much has changed since the Reach heydays. You can even look at older Reach YouTubers such as Naked Eli for tips on improving every edge on multiplayer. The three things you need to remember when playing is knowledge, awareness, and execution. These three are vital when it comes to any FPS. With Reach being a team-based shooter and all, with longer battles, these tips apply even more so. We'll first start with the knowledge that you need to know when playing Reach. This is where most of the basics come in. When it comes to Reach, you need to know how to shoot. A lot of people put emphasis on jumping as Halo has a more dynamic map layout that allows for more movement compared to the more grounded COD. Yet it's not high mobility like the latter iterations of the Halo games or games such as Destiny and Titanfall. However, people overutilize jumping when it comes to mid-firefights between two players. With the more advanced players, jumping is more predictable as you cannot change the momentum halfway through the jump. You're committed to the motion until the movement is done. Halo is bouncy. You'll be in the air for a while. If you ever decide to jump, you want to ensure it's in the combination with your strafe. A jump you want to be utilizing to your max potential is Gandhi hopping, in which the player spams the crouch button in mid-air, which can make the hitbox for your head harder to shoot. To do this, make sure the settings for your crouch button is on hold and not toggle so you can do the Gandhi hop. Now remember, you want to use the Gandhi hop in tandem with your strafe, not rely on it, as you will become just more predictable as the match progresses. Halo matches are long enough for the fight to favor any team at any point. Remember, this is the game where people win matches that are 2v4s, very commonly actually. Speaking of which, let's talk more about your strafing. For the most part, you are moving side to side, but don't just keep the same motion. You do want to add some variation in there, like crouching, switching directions early, or Gandhi hopping to throw off your target. Strafing can also vary from a distance. At long distances, you want to be doing a longer strafe, but for closer encounters, you want to use shorter strafes. As of right now, controller has stronger target acquisition and therefore easier to use in close range combat. This is a common complaint from players, and 343 is already aware of it by now. But for the time being, use your strafe to your advantage. Think like the treads of a tank, not like a turret. Use your movement, not just looking. The next major thing to understand is the UI. With the radar, it indicates where players are. A red dot means there's an enemy on your same elevation. The triangle indicates someone above you, and the lighter red dot means someone is lower than you are. The cone in the front of your radar indicates the field of view, so you know who's in front of you and who is not, regardless of elevation. However, this can vary when changing FOV settings on PC. Up next, there's the tags for your friends. Yellow indicates they are shooting, orange means they're taking fire, and red means they are dead and gone. We'll be coming back to this in the next point. But the last piece of knowledge, or more advanced side of knowledge I should say, is to understand the map flow. Learn different paths to access different parts of the map faster, or learn stronger positions of the map. Height is your friend. Being higher up will provide you an advantage. But being at a lower level doesn't mean certain death either. It's just a disadvantage. At the end of the day, no matter where the enemy is, if the enemy can see you, you can see them. The most important piece of map flow is understanding where power weapons are at. It doesn't matter if you're good with the weapon or not, because the more you have the weapon is the less the enemy has the weapon. Most weapons spawn 3 minutes after its pickup, regardless if it's still being in use by a player or not. Just look at the timer at the bottom of your screen when you pick up a weapon for a reference. And this segues into our next section, awareness. Always be mindful of the whole match going on, not just what you're doing. To have awareness is to understand what your teammates are doing and how your enemy is playing so you can adjust appropriately during the match. This circles back to what I was talking about earlier. Use the friend indicator to understand what your teammates are doing with just a simple glimpse. By seeing which of your teammates is taking damage, you have a better understanding of where the enemy is. Halo is a team-based shooter and thus works similarly to how a pack of wolves would react. When they smell blood or seeing an injured teammate, they fall into position around the hurt teammate to eliminate the enemy. Remember, you're not just trying to get kills but prevent deaths as well. This also applies to trading. Is trading your life for a kill really worth it when the enemy is already in the lead? Don't just mindlessly drone around like a dope. Be like the Grave Mine. Have your team work as one, which is where our last section comes into play: execution. At the end of the day, you want to be adapting to your strong suits and addressing where you're weaker in. Are you bad with sniping because of your positioning? Do you camp for too long, resulting in easier deaths? Do you keep killing yourself with the rocket because you aren't shooting behind the target coming towards you? Are you a liability to your teammates or an asset? Get creative with the map flow as well as your playstyle. Don't just be aggressive all the time, or be a camper that dies more and only gets easy kills. Play more conservatively by hanging back on fights until it's time to pounce. And of course, when you do, make sure you focus when you're in your firefights too. You're not just trying to get headshots, but you're also strafing depending on the fight and pacing your shots, as bloom on Reach's weapons are ridiculous. You'll win more battles by shooting less shots because the accuracy of bloom when rapidly shooting decreases. But being patient also gives you the right amount of time to line up your shots as well. So remember, knowledge, awareness, and execution. Combining these three all together gives you all the main stuff you need to have to increase your Halo game when hopping back into Halo Reach. If you want more content just like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below to stay up to date, and hit the bell to make sure you see my uploads and when I go live. I will be streaming more Reach in the next few days, so be sure to hit the bell now so you know when those streams start. I want you guys to be there. For more tips on Halo Reach on PC right now, I recommend checking out these two videos by Naked Eli and BBK Dragoon to up your game even more. If you made it this far in the video, leave a hashtag finish down below to get your comment selected for one of the next videos. I want to thank you all for watching a long time, but not a hard time. And I'll see you guys next time.